Pick number 1, Joe Burrow to the Bengals. As I've said several times before, it's not a surprise that Joe Burrow went number 1. I had him and Tua with the same grade, but with Burrow's season that he had, historic season, with his size over Tua without the injuries, it was a no-brainer. He went number 1 overall. Now, that being put aside, how is Joe Burrow going to do on the Cincinnati Bengals? Well, a couple things. Let's look at his weapons. He hopefully gets A.J. Green back. Now, there's no guarantee that A.J. Green is going to be back, and there's been rumors that he wants to be traded, that they could trade him. He missed a whole season with injury. What is A.J. Green going to be? But if he's back, he's one of the elite receivers in the NFL. Now, they also went out and they also have Tyler Boyd, a good slot receiver, and they have John Ross, who was a former top 10 overall pick, a guy who has elite speed but has struggled to see the field and then has injuries. And then they just drafted T. Higgins, the big physical receiver out of Clemson. So that gives him, those are going to be his 4 main receivers. Now, I think a wild card here is John Ross. John Ross last year in his first game of the season was healthy, and he put up huge numbers. I know I took a doing daily fantasy. He was a guy that just blew up and gave a ton of points, and then I think I picked him week 2, and then he got hurt or whatever. So on paper, this receiving core is not bad for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had his best success last year with LSU when he had a tremendous receiving core. Jamar Chase is going to be a first-round pick next year. Terrence Marshall is going to be probably a day 2 pick next year. Justin Jefferson was a first-round pick this year. Thaddeus Moss was a guy that didn't get drafted, but he's going to make an NFL team. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a first-round pick. He had a ton of weapons around him, and Burrow, his best trait isn't a Josh Allen-type arm. It is being able to read the defense and distribute the ball. He's a high efficient, distributor, and there's nothing wrong with that. So you got to build. I think with him, you have to have weapons, and on paper, his weapons seem good. Green, elite receiver. Higgins can be a good possession receiver. If Ross is healthy, he gives them kind of a weapon, a tool. He's not going to be just think of a lesser version of Deshaun Jackson, and then Tyler Boyd working that short to intermediate. He does have some positives. I know Zach Taylor didn't have the best season last year. They finished with the number 1 overall pick. He looked lost at times, but he is still an offensive-minded head coach. And to be honest, it would be hard to, that Bengals team last year didn't have a whole lot of talent. The talent has improved on that team. So seeing him with added weapons, with a quarterback like Burrow, hopefully getting A.J. Green back, drafting Higgins, what can he do? Can he bring that Sean McVay offense and ignite this offense? Now, the negatives are the offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals is not good. Now, they do get Jonah Williams back, who was their first-round pick last year in the 2019 draft. He was penciled in to be their left tackle. They were going to move Cordy Glenn into left guard and then go from there. Now Williams got hurt in the preseason, got hurt in training camp, didn't even see the field at all. Getting him back and healthy will help, but their offensive line is still not good. And Joe Burrow had to move around a lot, and I know his offensive line got praised and won awards. He had to move and to navigate and avoid defenders all season long, so he's used to that. He's good moving within the pocket, but it's different going to the NFL. So we've seen good quarterbacks in the league struggle when they get pressure, and is Burrow going to be able to handle that? Now, I see Joe Burrow being a day 1 starter. You don't draft him number 1 overall. You don't move on from Andy Dalton if he's not starting. There's no chance he's not starting day 1. Now, but that means he's got to have a learning curve. He's only had 1 year of success in college. His junior year wasn't very good. I mean, it was okay maybe. Before that, he couldn't beat out other guys and didn't really see the field. So how is he going to handle, basically, is he going to be able to build off that success with less weapons and less offensive line talent around him? So I on paper, like I said, I like the weapons. They could be better, but they're not bad. But I think protecting him is paramount.